Was that video with that was whatever they was faking whatever.
Nah, that shit was real.
And I went in. I said I was like, I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna reply. I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna reply.
She did a whole video.
And I commented on like 14 posts.
What you say?
To a point where I had to make a post and say, why do I do this to myself? Yeah. I should have just not responded. But I did.
But that's where
I was so pissed. This ain't had nothing to do with me.
But that's what knowing your triggers come in at something because it triggers something in you. That's it.
Real.
It just triggered.
But it's that trigger because sometimes
I was so pissed, and then, but I think it wasn't the video. It was the responses from the men that I saw.
What they say?
It was. I ain't gonna let it get to me, but I'm just saying it was when I started seeing. And I really can't respect your opinion. Like, if you disagree, she was in the wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just won't like it, okay?
You said what?
But the guys who said stuff like, it's that, where your baby daddy at? Where they baby? Where he at?
Where he at?
And I'm like,
where he at?
I just wasn't raised that way.
She had 4 kids, though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Four different shit.
Four
different dudes.
I'm just
Where they at? Where they at?
That it was that triggered me, and I wasn't raised like.
Why was that? Why did that trigger you? Because I think it's a valid point.
Because I hear that a lot. Having multiple baby fathers. And I'm like, because we get on the child support, I don't receive child support.
Okay.
Child support.
So. I feel like if I had to put myself rating myself as one of the most easygoing person that you would deal with when it comes down to my kids, contrary to my food order. But dealing with that, I am very just go with the flow, just be there, just be consistent. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm gonna give you. Be there and be consistent, please. Okay. Because they don't need that type of inconsistency in their life. That does more than whatever check you could ever send. So, just sitting there watching these people say that about kids, I'm like, I don't care if I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. You just not gonna feed the other kids because they not yours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just wasn't raised that way. So
I wasn't raised like that either.
So I just was like, now I did take into consideration that he wasn't obligated to, and I do hear that point. Just saying, dang, that's the
like,
world we living in. Yeah. Like, that's not the kids' fault that they daddy ain't there.
Man, look.
I was sick. Yeah. I was sick. And then when I saw the women agreeing, I'm like,
the women was agreeing.
They were.
They was agreeing.
He said, and people, a lot of people heard what they wanted to hear in the whole conversation and then ran with it. He said, my child called me. Mm-hmm. The thing of the video was she didn't call him and say, can you bring your son something to eat? He said, my child called me. So you don't know what's going on in that household because that baby could have called his daddy. Missing. That it wasn't because
I'm saying that's the part that was missing because the clip I saw did not say that.
I swear to God, he said it. And she was screaming so much that you might have missed it.
She made 2 parts of the video.
No, that was on the first part.
Yeah,
it was on the first part.
It was 2 parts.
It was like 2 takes.
It was 2 takes of it.
So my thing was on the clip I heard and saw.
He ain't say nothing.
He did not say that.
She was already so much that you might.
And I think I only saw 20 seconds. I didn't even see a 2-minute
clip.
It definitely was long. So I saw 20 seconds. So that's again why I was mad at myself because I'm like, yes. I guess that's why now I'm trying to find the post I commented on.
Then the next day, motherfuckers was like, "Bitch, you only got one baby daddy. You don't get to say nothing about shit." I'm like,
I didn't watch it. I guess I just
baby daddies, 2 baby mamas. Be quiet, talking.
I guess I just didn't watch it because sometimes it ain't even just like. I feel like sometimes clips that get put up, you're not getting the whole picture. You only getting that glimpse of what they want you to see, and that's why I was just like, I can't get all of it.
I thought I was more mature. That 20-second clip
of
nonsense made me comment on 14 different.
But you know what? It wasn't necessarily. It wasn't necessarily that
I blocked 2 dudes.
even that specific the clip. It was something about it that triggered something in you because somebody can't press a button. That's not a button that can't be pressed. Like you know, people insecurity show all the time. Like you will see women like ugly wear, and then they posting 10 pictures. That's because that's how you feel about you. So you seeking that validation from somebody else.
To be like, no, you ain't ugly.
Right. Yeah, but you like knowing your triggers and stuff in life is like that's like you and I both. We have lost children, so sometimes I know when certain topics get on that and they're talking about, I have to step away from it because I know I will go there. I know how passionate I feel about it. Yeah. So I just have to take myself away.
And it's crazy. I was on the other end.
It's best that you did.
I watched the whole video and was like, man, that's messed up.
But
don't have baby mamas. Have baby daddies. And everybody like, you can't. Yes, you can. Let me tell you how.
I was mad at the way.
Yes, you can.
But that was outweighed by the
and I don't think it was outweighed by that. I completely disagree because, like you said earlier, it's delivery. That's how you come at people, bro.
Because had she said, hey, I'm a little short.
Can you get my other kids a Happy Meal?
Do this for the whole everybody. She was waiting at the
bitch.
Motherfucking door
before he pulled up. She was like, yeah, he finna pull up right
mad.
now. Nah.
But see, again, I ain't see no pull up, right? So the 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't even get, I was like, okay, she didn't handle that right. I'll give you that. But you're not gonna feed these kids.
I'm definitely not gonna feed them motherfuckers after that.
We was just told, don't even come to nobody house with outside food.
Nah, bro.
If you ain't asked who all over it, you don't come to nobody's house. I don't go to my friend's house before I call and say, hey, you want something? Is everybody good over there? Okay. So I just wouldn't. It just ain't in my nature. So that 20-second clip, and then guys talking about something. See, this is the problem because y'all be da-da-da. And I'm like, you don't even know nothing. You don't know nothing. Now, everybody dumb.
They done watched all the clips. You got 20 seconds of rage. They got all the clips. You realize the order wasn't right for everybody. He only came with one right order, and you was on fire. This order ain't
everybody got it.
And we see the whole thing.
But then it went on. Right? It went on and the guys was like, see, that's why I don't fool with people who got, and I'm like, hey.
Okay, now that definitely pissed me off.
Leave me alone.
But today defense, I can say, it's all about your delivery, man. It's all about that. It's all about how you come at people.
But I get the delivery. What I'm saying is when guys went further.
Yeah.
So
you can't judge me off of this video that you watched with her.
We can if you agreeing with that shit.
So hear me out. Hear me out. It's me, the no kid guy, right? Sorry, I keep knocking on this door with y'all. Right. So I watched that clip, right? Yeah. And then I hear the child support stories, right? And then I hear all of the horror stories from everybody else. And then somebody be like, yo, no offense to any of y'all. Yeah, I got 3 kids. I got 4 kids. Yeah? How many baby daddies you got? Yeah, I got 2 baby daddies. I got 3 baby daddies. I got 4 baby daddies. Yeah?
Nah, for real.
I mean, and then at this point, if I keep asking questions, I'm either going to annoy you or hit that sensitive point, right? Yeah. So now I got to break all of this up. Well, it's easier for me to go.
Just slide out, yeah. But if you can't,
quiet.
If you're in that situation where you can't go, like quickly, like I always say that though, approach is everything, bro. Like you said, if she would have said, "I'm short, I know you bring your son some, but the other kid's hungry too," it's shit on the menu for $1. He would have did it. He seemed like he would have type of dude that would have did it.
So I'm gonna disagree. I don't like to project myself on nobody or put more into context than what's really there. Mm-hmm. But it kind of seemed like the way it was set up, this was a regular thing because nobody goes off, except for my girl. Nobody goes off the first time about the order, right?
Right. This is true.
Nobody goes off the first time with, you didn't bring all the kids something? That ain't the first time it had to happen. Right. She was at the door knowing he was pulling up.
Right. But and that's why I said when they went back and said it was staged, and I was like,
that makes sense.
I was like,
that's what I said.
You suckers. And then I saw the whole video, and I felt like an idiot.
Yeah. But though,
no, but that's real shit.
Staged,
that's based off real life.
Shit that's not happening.
Like my oldest daughter's father, he if he gets Christmas gifts from my daughter, he gets them from my youngest now. Right. Not that he's obligated to, and I appreciate it. He just feels like I'm not finna come over here and bring. It might not be as much, but I'm going to bring her something. Versus my youngest daughter, that he ain't bringing my oldest daughter nothing. But I'm not upset about that.
Right.
Like, you can't expect you from other people. Like me, like I would, like when I would send my daughter with him, and I'm like, okay, I know my youngest, and I know other kids gonna be over there. She like applesauce. I'm not gonna just buy applesauce just for her. I get the whole case for her.
But it all depends on the relationship too, though. It depends on the relationship what you got. If y'all cool, then you'll be able to offer that or see that. If y'all ain't cool, I'm not buying them other kids shit.
No, I'm not cool, and I still did it. I wasn't. Yeah. We wasn't cool at that time. It was just you coming. If I knew the other kids,
definitely different for us.
I think about the kids at the end of the day.
I mean, we do too. But if I'm not cool with you, fuck them kids. Because I'm not cool with you. Because they ain't did nothing. But if we not. That's just like with a regular person. If you're not linking with them, if you're not syncing with them, you don't care about their well-being. It's high and by. So it's the same thing with us. Because it's the same thing with us. And your kids is included in that. We're not finna take the kids on the sidebar and you being a bitch. Bitch, fuck you and them kids.
And it's also, and what people completely set aside, because everybody thinking about the kids. 9.5 times out of 10, them kids is taken care of.
They are
whether the one baby daddy is doing for everybody or all the baby daddies is stepping up. You do have your instances where the kids ain't being taken care of.
But for the most part,
the kids is taken care of.
That's what it is.
So everybody also is looking at the life lesson that you're teaching your child by saying that things are owed to them because of whatever circumstance. This is why kids grow up and feel entitled.
Right.
Because so if my brother get Jordans, I should get Jordans. Absolutely not.
Especially when you got the same day.
But the majority of people teaching their kids that don't buy for one if you can't buy for all, that's not a good life lesson, because when they grow up, they're going to have this entitlement in them. My daughter...
That's a feminine characteristic, though. You say you have masculine characteristics, right? That's a feminine characteristic.
But my daughter...
Equality for all. So, Mitch can come over my crib. My nieces and nephews will be there. He know he can come in there with a wing dinner. We all know that's his thing. He can come in there with a wing dinner, sit down and eat. They better not ask him for nothing, because that's his. If he offered him something, that's cool, but that's his. Mitch could come in for one meal for one of them, and I wouldn't have nothing to say, because I don't know why he did that. He may owe him that. He may owe her that. Right? But normally a feminine person, not necessarily saying a woman, but a feminine person will go, no, you can't get that to him if you ain't giving it to everybody. But he can come over there with me, and I'm going to tell the other kids the truth. That's between him and them. And when it's your turn, I'm going to say the same thing.
But, because I see Brianna.
I'm processing.
Yeah, processing.
My daughter.
I see what she's saying, and it's not like we all wasn't raised like that. Right. We was damn near raised the same.
Right.
So I get it.
It's life lessons and everything that everybody is not looking at. Like I was trying to say, my daughter, the little boy I have upstairs, his uncle came and took him to the water park. My mama said, "Why didn't take Noopy?" Because he's not obligated to take Noopy. That's not his child. That's not
really dope. If he does, it's not wrong.
Was my daughter upset that she wasn't going to the fucking water park?
Right.
She absolutely was. Right. But I took that as a teaching moment.
And Brianna feel like it should be normal.
And say, hey,
because I see you over there.
So I got a question for you. In sports, do every child deserve a trophy?
No.
What's the difference?
That's not where I'm going. So that's
go ahead. Say what you want.
I was processing. Finish this.
Say what you processing.
Because
your face saying something else.
Right.
She's
snapping. I'm not snapping. I'm not. But I do
this
ask.
This album hit at me rolling.
My ex does. He's very good to all my kids.
Okay.
All right. I would say that I had an issue because when I met my ex, my most recent ex, my oldest son came with me. This is the only father that he knows as his father figure.
Okay.
So going through the divorce was very challenging because now it goes down to, well, I only have one biological child.
Even though you was playing this role the whole time.
You've been playing this role the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you're not obligated to, but what you're saying is, I'm not going to take this one. And it's just very difficult. It's very difficult to figure out, why can't you still be that, but you want to be it sometime?
It all depends on the relationship to me. It just depends on the relationship. And
so he's been better. It was more so his family saying, why you take
right? That ain't
she divorced you. Yeah. Worry about this one. So he started to do what he felt, which is what I could respect. Yeah. And you might not be able to take him every weekend. He may not. And then I don't do name brand in my house. So if my kids get Jordans or some name brand, like name brand, it's probably because somebody bought it for them or it was a hand-me-down. So if they go and buy my middle son Jordans or even Nikes or something like that I don't normally buy, I ask if they can just keep it at their house when he's with them, because I don't spend my money on that, and I'm uncomfortable with trying to explain to my kids why they can't have that. Right. And I know that that's not their problem, but I'm just asking as a courtesy if you could just do that over there. I'm not asking you to buy my kids all Jordans and Nikes. No. I'm just asking if you did buy them, he wear them over there. And he'll have some shoes at my house. And it works for us. I just be like, I don't know. I still got people who, like, if it's the kid's birthday party, they'll bring all my kids something. I don't expect that. It's nice. I don't think to do it. Yeah. I got guy kids that all of them, not all my guy kids.
Right.
I make sure they're good, but a birthday present's gonna go to the person whose birthday it is.
Right.
So it's certain dynamics, but yeah, in that case, when it came down to my oldest and that middle child right there, and it did cause some sibling issues, because now my oldest, I had to teach him, you know,
it's a teachable lesson.
It is.
It's a teachable lesson. That honestly,
but then it's like, how do you explain? You were good enough all these years, because that's how they take it as a child. You were good enough all these years when I was with your mom. But now that
he ain't your relationship, though.
Kids are more resilient.
I believe.
But it will teach resiliency. But in it, when you're learning and you already have a father who wants nothing to do with you,
and then you got some
now you got another guy who was, and now he's gone, and now he's gonna put in, you're not my child anyway.
Yeah,
it's like, that's what you really gonna do?
I think it comes down to it being the situation again. Us as men, it's hard for us to see outside ourselves sometimes too. So everything isn't fair for us, but it is a feminine trait, fairness, right? You want all your children to be treated the same. You want them all to feel the same type of love. We don't have a favorite child. You know, that whole, I need everybody to feel this because this is what I'm building. And for us, it ain't even that big of a deal. This time is yours. This time is yours. And that's just how it go. Life is hard. Suck it up, right? So what's a difficult conversation for y'all, when it happened to my nieces and nephews, I feel horrible. Raised by a single mom, I feel that femininity side. But as a man, hey, look, I feel you. And I might even try to do something to make it fair for you later. But at this time, it just don't work that way. Yeah. I ain't got to explain it. Because there's nothing to explain.
Have had the same heartbreak or have had this experience the same thing. And I'm like, how you heartless?
Because it's not heartless.
It's
the relationship you giving them.
It's not heartless.
If y'all was cool, it'd be different.
Yeah, so look.
If y'all broke up on different terms, it'd be different.
At your house.
Whenever is you good. Whenever is some bad shit, of course it's gonna turn into that. But if y'all break up cool, motherfuckers still be there. So it all just depend on y'all relationship and how y'all deal with that. Because they your kids. So what? How, you dictate that too. Because a lot of women, as soon as they break up with a dude, don't fuck with him. I ain't fucking with him. So y'all don't talk to him either. So that goes into play too. Yeah, so with that, you gotta be able to see what type of relationship y'all gonna have, and if them kids still gonna be cool with him. Because again, they your kids. I may still be here to do whatever I need to do, but they yours. If I leave right now, they still yours. So it depends on how we navigate what we need to do so I can still be around them. So
then there's other dynamics too. So I date a woman, I get close with her kids, we split. Within a year, she get married. Like, so during this separation time, I'm not reaching out heavy yet. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I've grown attached to these children. Even though they grown, they still, you know. So now you married. What dynamic am I in now? So if I had done it, I had 1 year of stepping up to the plate to be cool for this child. And now I got to be phased out the picture.
Because it's a whole nother nigga.
Yeah, and I got to respect that. Yeah. You know, all the money and time that I put into a child. Because if you get in another relationship and your son get attached to him, appreciate you, bro. You did good. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So on the flip side, how can I get so attached? These are hard lessons in that as a man. They not, we relate to the harshness of them, but they not hard
ain't no
for us.
No playbook for
us. They not hard for us to come up and say, yo, next time it may work out in your favor. This time it didn't. You be all right. And walk off. That's not a mother's thing. A mother's come here, let me. For us, hit you on the back and move on. You straight. You straight. It's the same thing when the kid falls down. The mom run over there.
Next play.
I love you. Yeah.
Next play.
I love you, baby. Are you hurt? How does it feel in the beginning when they little?
Then
you see us when they 1 year old all over the couch. You ain't see him? If he hurt, he'll cry.
Next play. Next play.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's how it works.
That's a good sharing that.
He's smart sometimes.
I'm just a normal guy. Don't let him. I'm just a regular large man. That's it. So another big thing we do on this show, and I'm really excited with y'all here, is that we love to talk about the generational growth. So as men, it's big for us because the stigma has been how black men are in their children's lives, right? Some are, some ain't. I can't speak for everybody, but our generation are way more in lives than the generation that raised us and things like that. So if you've watched old episodes, 1 through, I think this will be the 6th one, but 1 through 5, you'll see.
We gonna send the thanks to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna send the links to you.
Shout out to Tamika Talley. She was the first one, but this is the first girl group.
She's the first girl promoting this.
Yeah, I'm in jail, so I can't promote that.
I mean, I promoted, but for some reason, I think I spread so much positivity. People just ignore me sometimes. That's another, you know.
Until you commented on something, maybe.
Yeah, once I talk to somebody,
or it might be a make it a great day type of. And you're like, oh, okay, right, but I don't see nothing.
That's why I post that almost every day.
Yeah, we'll send y'all the links for sure.
Okay. Don't be good, be great. But what we really like to do is show generational growth. So I asked each one of you. So we'll start with you. How was your relationship with your mom growing up? How was your relationship with your mom?
Dad too,
or dad, yeah,
or both, yeah.
My relationship with my mom, I always felt like she was tougher on me than the rest of my sisters. Like, it wasn't like a horrible relationship, but I always felt like she was like hard on me. But as I got older and I had children myself, I could see, like, as a mother, you kind of just know which child can take what. And I realized that you take some extra.
She knew she had to get some extra attention.
She already know. I don't really have a relationship with my dad. I didn't have a relationship with my dad growing up. I always knew who he was. Like, you know, you get older and you realize that, his product of being a side chick or whatever you want to call it, and just didn't have that relationship. I still really don't have that relationship. So that goes back to what Brianna was saying, just about like knowing how that affects you, and it caused me to like do a lot of self-reflecting and self-awareness. But yeah, him and I still really don't have a relationship because I have to be. It's one of those things where he ain't been around for so long. I mean, he lives in Kankakee. I just don't have a relationship with him to where I want to come to him, where it's more so like they say forgiveness isn't for you. Yeah. It's not for another person, it's for you. Mm-hmm. But when I come to, like, I want to be in a place where I'm accepting of whether he's going to respond to how I felt. But because I know if I come to him now, it's going to be so much anger. Because it's like, and I haven't got to that place yet, but I'm working on getting to that place because I want to be able to be at that place to be like, this is how I felt. This is how I felt with you not being there, and then be okay with just laying it on the table and not expecting to receive anything.
Take it from me. Get that.
Right. So do you have sons? You have sons?
I don't have any sons.
Okay, so all girls?
Yes.
Okay. So how does your relationship with both your parents And even more so your daughters with their fathers. How does that transition now?
My daughter always had a relationship. My oldest daughter always had a relationship with her father, so I always wanted to make sure to keep that relationship just because I know how that feels. My youngest, it wasn't such a good relationship, and like even going through that pregnancy brought up a lot of my own, father issues.
Right.
Just like, man, like I want this relationship, but it wasn't until I stopped trying to make that relationship and like I said, heal from a lot of things, not only with him. Like one time I even told him, like, I feel like sometimes when I'm going off on you, I feel like that little girl that want to go off on her dad. So I have to look at myself. So once I was able to look at myself and be like, okay, their relationship has gotten so much, that's all I wanted was them to have that relationship. So I'm not one of them, we ain't gonna get on child support. Like my biggest thing is time is the most valuable thing that you can give a child. Like, you can give them all of these things in the world and pay for all this. That's not what they want, that time. So I'm really big on just being in their life and making those memories, so that when they get older, they ain't got somebody whispering in their ears telling them what they want to hear, because they really desire that relationship. Because I know I have to go through that a lot myself.
Right. For sure. Right. Understood. So how does your relationship with your mom correlate to that?
My relationship with my mom.
What do you do like your mom? You know now, right now, that's all mom. I get that from moms. It ain't change it. I can't help it.
I feel like my mom was more of a hands-off parent. Okay. And it was like I had to do a lot of learning on my own. Right. So with my children, I'm like opposite. I'm the loving, I'm the hugging, I'm the but I also as my with my oldest, sometimes it's so funny because she's just like, you so all up on the baby and I'm not all up on her. So I think as they get older, it's just more so like, I see why she did it. Let me back off. My mom did that. Like, my mom was never the one to run to my rescue over every single little thing. It was like, you figure it out. And I feel like I do that a lot with her.
Where are you age-wise in your siblings?
Where I am the second to the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But everybody always think I'm the oldest. First? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought you was the oldest.
Everybody always think I'm the oldest. Maybe I'm a little bit more mature. I don't know. I mean, but for real, everybody always think it's my oldest sister.
Nisha cool. Shout out to Nisha.
It's my oldest sister, it's me, and then I have two younger sisters. So I'm like a middle child. So I always had more responsibility, but even I'm like that
Shout
now.
Shout out to mom. She the GOAT.
Gail Thompson, I love you. But yeah, that whole hands-off thing and like being able to, like, I was just having a conversation with somebody, like, my daughter is 14. She'll be 18 in 4 years. High school goes fast. It didn't seem like these 14 years went fast. But like, my biggest thing is like, I want to be able to, whether you decide to go to college, go to the military, go whatever, like, I back off from making decisions from her now, because I need you to know how. You will be not even be surprised how many adults don't have that critical thinking skills, because somebody always had to make decisions for them. So I appreciate my mom for instilling that in me. And she's also I never seen her like she wasn't this mean-hearted, mean-spirited. Like, sometimes like I felt like I was so naive to like the way people were, because my mom was never that. So then you get out in the world, you got all these people like, y'all really act like this? Like, where did this come from? So
she was lying.
Yeah.
I thought I knew.
Didn't know anything. So I get that a lot from her. Like, she don't have a mean, like, she speak to everybody. Everybody know her. She's always have us walking, like, so everybody always also everybody know, hey Gail. So a lot of that, just like the hands-off stuff, is what I really did get for her. But I appreciate her for being that hard on me and being because it just made me, be a little tougher on myself. Like, come on, Tamika, get it together.
Let's go.
Yeah, for real.
Shout out to moms.
Lucy Lou.
Say the questions again.
I say it again. All right.
Yeah.
So how was your relationship with your mother and or father growing up?
Relationship with my mom, awesome, because my mom has been there since day one, all the way to day 44.
Shout out to Big Gene.
For sure.
Time to work 365, 44 is. My dad did have a relationship with him when I was little, and then when he got married, the relationship changed. as sometimes it does when that happens.
That coochie.
Right. And then I was mad at him for probably 20 years or so. And then mid-30s or so, I decided to forgive him.
That's what I'm talking about.
But like you said, it's more so for me than for him. And it was crazy when I called my dad to have this discussion with him. My dad cried because he didn't know, not even that he didn't know. He didn't want to come to me. I feel like he didn't want to come to us because my sister still hates him. But he didn't want to come to us because he didn't want the reaction like how my sister is doing him now. He didn't want that, well, forget you. You ain't been here in all this time, blah, 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 blah. But I told him that. I told him, oh, I was mad at you, definitely. But I had to stop being mad at you because it was manifesting itself in ways in my life that was negative. So I had to forgive you. And with forgiveness, though, you have to almost reach out to them. And it's almost like closure. You got to do it. And my dad just cried like a fucking baby. I've never heard my dad cry. He cried and cried and cried. He was like, I'm so sorry, baby, and I love you. This is all I wanted was to talk to you. And I didn't think I was going to talk to you before I died. Because, like, real talk, we had no communication. From 14 to, I had to be about 35, 36, maybe. If not, maybe a little bit younger than that, maybe 30, something like that. It was a long time of zero communication. At all. Like, my kids couldn't even pick him out of the lineup.
Man, that's tough.
If you wouldn't have reached out, do you think he would have ever?
No.
And you're okay with that?
Yes, you have to be.
That's what I'm
you have to be. You have to be because that's part of the forgiveness. Because if you were, but women do that. Us as women, we do that. If you hold that over their head, did you really forgive? It's almost like a cheating husband. If you don't fully forgive, if you keep saying, well, you cheated with her, did you really forgive? Right. If you keep on going to ask him, well, you never reached out to me when I was 14. You never did this for me. You never did that for me. Did you really forgive him?
Like, you ain't
but forgiveness don't require reconnection either.
So,
sometimes you can forgive a person.
Oh, no, I love it.
This is true.
I agree with that. Bitch, fuck you. I forgive you.
This is true.
Your ass
I'm not arguing that.
but
sometimes we use the wrong word for forgiveness. Right? Sometimes forgiveness is acceptance.
Right.
You did what you did. So from this moment and before, that's what you did. What are you bringing me from now to here? And hopefully at some point, like she got to, we can go back and revisit that. So, but until then, I still need from here to the end because there's some people like that. But what you're
saying is reconnection is not something or that's a requirement. I beg to differ just a tiny bit on that because to me, this is only my opinion. Your parents, you can put them on a pedestal, even though you shouldn't. But I feel like as far as your parents are concerned, you only get two. You can have 12,000 aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins, friends, associates, but your parents, you only get one father and one mother. And when you harbor ill feelings towards those two people, it does something to you. You might not accept that it does something to you, but it does.
And it trickle on everything
else. It does. Because those two people in your life, now it's not your fault that he chose not to be there. I'm not saying that. But if you continue in the anger, disappointment, if you continue down that path that they put you on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna manifest itself in horrible ways. But those two people are the only two people who are single in your life.
They are what you come from.
They are
50% each.
So
you got
so to say you don't have zero connection now, even to this day, I might only talk to my dad. He just called me the other day when I ain't got into that accident because he heard through the grapevine that my child got into an accident, and he said to me, "Well, baby, we got to talk to each other more than a couple of times a year." I said, "I know, Dad." And he was like, "You could call me." I said, "I know."
Yeah.
And you could call me too. And he was like, "I know."
I gotta get to that, but I have said to myself that I will never have a successful relationship until I forgive my dad.
Yeah,
I have a successful relationship with a man.
That shit matters
until I forgive my dad, and I'm just not at that place. I'm not at that.
You gotta get there.
You gotta know.
You do, and I ain't rushing you, but I'm just
a lot of times, especially men, we have this pride. Like it's a pride that y'all see, you still can't understand because we are not only creators, we destroyers, right? And we talk, when you mess it up, leave it there, next play, right? Next play, right? Mitch, you make a mistake, I go on to Mitch like, hey bro, why you? He shrug, I shrug, I laugh, we move on.
Next play.
That's it. What's next?
Play.
So sometimes our pride isn't going back there. And it's so, because we don't have that soft side to fix it, it's easier to just move on and eat it, right? So I tell you from experience, my pops was in my life. I talk about it on the show all the time. It's my dog. Shout out to Pops. Papa Harwell. That's what the kids. Papa Ronnie. Anyway, so just recently, I want to say like 6 months ago, me and Pop sitting there just chilling. He say, son, do you know the reason that when y'all were young, y'all didn't see me? Because it ate me up. Still, time to time, still eat me up. Son, the reason I ain't pick you up, I need you to think about this. I had 4 kids, a stepchild, a wife, 2 baby mamas, and child support on 3 kids.
Bruh, I ain't got time, nigga.
I'm paying for a brand new built house. I'm paying for y'all. And then I'm paying for y'all on the other end. Still trying to make sure I see y'all on the weekends that I can see y'all. I'm already working all these hours. I can't pick all y'all up at the same time because I can't even mentally take it. And y'all can never understand.
Right.
You hear that and you just go,
damn.
Yeah, you be like, yeah, bro. You good, man. I get why y'all ain't see you. Cool, I appreciate that. It was a healing that I got, but you have to accept things at a point because that was for him. He needed to get that off because he could feel it over here. But I had to give him the space to do it because you can't make, y'all know this well, you can't make a man do something he don't want to do.
Lord, that's how we can all agree.
You can't do it. So it's an acceptance thing. You know what I'm saying?
I tell my boys that all the time. Like their relationship with their dad is on and off. And you would think that I would be the fuck him baby mama. Even though I really, me and him really don't have a relationship.
Yeah, like, you don't have to have one with him.
Can't stand him. However, I know that for my son's mental health, they have to have some sort of relationship or closure. And my youngest is the one, he the one. The baby boy is the one who is like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. And I have to tell him all
the time.
Yeah. That's your dad. You might not agree with everything that he do. You might not agree with, how y'all thing is, but that's still you only got one.
That's it.
You only got one. So I'm not telling you have to kiss nobody's tail. I'm not telling you have to make, but I'm saying all of this anger, you need to either say something to him about it, try to talk to him, and try to for yourself.
Right.
Because it's going to affect you in other ways.
Especially when they pass. I
thought about that too. I tell my sister that too. I say to her all the time, like, Dad and Mom are getting older. What you gonna do if he passes away? You gonna be on top of that casket,
that shit hit you like
the
like
hardest
bricks,
tears shed over a grave are from things left undone and words left unsaid. Harriet beat yourself.
No, for real, that's true.
That's what's up.
That shit true, man. Cause I fucked that nigga.
Yeah,
was my whole
I remember
all through life.
You can't be like that, bro.
Fuck him.
Right back.
Shit. I linked up with him before he passed, bro, and it was just like, I'm glad I did, because that shit would have fucked me up. Even though it was his fault.
Right.
That shit still would have fucked me up.
It wasn't forgiveness in the sense of what we want to say forgiveness. It was acceptance.
What was your dad's takeaway from y'all meeting up? Did he have something to give you?
Man, look, I met up with Buddy. He came to the crib. He came to Rosewood. Came to the crib. Everybody get out. I'm finna talk to him. We finna talk, nigga. He he ain't give me the answer I wanted to hear, and I just said, fuck it. Like, he ain't never gonna give me that. Mm-mm. He ain't gonna tell me why he wasn't there. He still can't. I'm 23. He still ain't gonna tell me. Fuck it. Like she said, shit, he your daddy, so you just gotta figure that shit out. And try to develop something with him. Something. So for the last couple of years before he got sick, shit, I was over there every day on his ass. What you need, what you want, what you doing. Get your big ass up. Let's get it. Just because we didn't have that. And I had to think, like, since he was grown, like, we always get adults that you should have did this because you the adult.
Yeah.
So I had to flip it like, nah, I'm an adult now, so I'm finna be on your ass.
That's what it is.
Even in the best parent-child relationships, those roles will reverse.
It flipped.
Even in the best.
It flipped.
It's already started.
It flipped.
Yep. Even in the best.
And ours wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Fuck him was my thought. Fuck buddy. Yeah. But shit, I just, man, like, once we talked and he couldn't give me nothing, it was just like, I gotta give him something. And I know that shit don't make sense, but to me, it was just like, I just gotta give him something. I'm just trying to figure out who he is, what he do, because I'm like him. 50% of me is him.
Man.
I feel like that's where I get my anger from. That's probably why he do karate.
And man, you just go through life just finding out that you just like this motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, let me figure out where he at and how he did this and how he did that. And if I didn't do that, man, I'll be fucked up now.
If y'all think about it on Facebook, you got to really think about this. The thing you see the most is consistently, man, I miss my mom. Man, I miss my dad. Yeah. You don't want to be that person because you already missing them now.
Anyway,
you know what I'm saying? Regardless if there's a void, you know, you tell yourself there's no void, or it's emptiness there. Regardless if you accept the emptiness or not. And this is part of what makes you.
Right.
So even if it's just a taste of, oh, I see why I don't mess with you. I've come to an understanding of who you are. Cool. At least I know. You know what I'm saying?
And
everybody needs that.
See, my biological father was murdered when I was 11.
Sorry to hear that.
And so I was like, I have all these great stories. He was a great athlete. He was, from the reports, a fine man.
Okay.
He had a lot of children. Okay. So according to the Social Security record, I was like number 4 of 8 that we had record of. One of them turned out not to be kids or something like that, but it's still some still popping up even after his death that we trying to connect with. So I didn't get anything, and I'm like, you was right here in Kankakee for a while before you moved. I was jealous of my other siblings. I found out sometime afterwards, you know, who one of my brothers was. We found out after we started going to school together.
Right.
It was just it's so crazy. And I was just like, but I would be jealous because they got to spend time with him. Mm-hmm. But see, the way I came up, my grandfather was still alive, and he always taught my mom, that's that dude's responsibility. Don't take your kids over there. He got to be a man and come and pick up his kids. So their parents would drop them off to Granny's house where my dad would be. And I wasn't allowed to do that. And then when my stepdad came into the picture, he evolved. But at first he like, I'm the one taking care of you. We wasn't allowed to call him by his first name. We always called my stepdad Dad.
Yeah. Right.
Because he wasn't even taking, you're not about to call him George.
Oh, God.
I pay everything up in here.
I pay everything up in here.
Especially back during that time, man in the house.
That was just very hard.
Right.
My mom and our relationship was really, really good. However, my mom was, she had bipolar disorder.
Oh, okay.
So we grew up, back then it was called manic depression. They've changed the names now, but, you know, it was just a lot. There's things that people didn't talk about. Her trauma triggered a mental illness that she was not born with. We always laugh because we say the brown sack got nerve problems. Everybody got nerve.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And you do learn some history, you know, throughout your family. Like, my nerves is bad. And that comes from the brown sack. We loud and our nerves is bad. Right. So, it's certain things that whatever. But my mom, hers was triggered from trauma that she was not able to get healing from. Mm-hmm. And so she ended up having a nervous breakdown. And then she had my brother at 14. She had me at 17. So she was a young mom. Man. She was going through everything. Right? So it would be times, though, where my roles had already reversed. Because now it's times where I have to go look for my mom.
Makes sense.
It's times where I have to make sure she take her medicine. It's times when she's on her depression. I'm going to have to bathe my mom. Mm-hmm. And you can't speak about these things. We're going in our house.
Yeah.
That black family, boy.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
You tell somebody outside these doors.
Got my stepdad now. When they got married, my stepdad was 21. My mom was 24. Can y'all where we was at 21 and 24? And I'm like, then you raising two kids. It's not his. Me and my brother have two different daddies. They're not his. He got his own demons. We in a Pentecostal church. With very strict, enforcements. We're broke. Like, they learning life together. So it was just certain things where it's like, I felt confused a lot about just life. I'm like, is this
what it's supposed to be? Right.
But my mom, even in her illness, is just the most caring, loving woman.
She is.
She got a firecracker side.
She is.
She will knock you clean out. Right? But that's not the side you want her to get to, because she's very just... Still to this
day, your mama see me and talk to me like she know me my whole life. She know who I am. Cause she, I remember, but not much. But she, hey.
So
always show love.
It's just who she is, right? But it was just very difficult trying to navigate that upbringing, and then not having that closure. So thankfully, my father's side, I have two uncles. One of my uncles came to preach at Christ Temple, and my mom was like, "That's your father's brother."
Yeah.
And then he walked up to me at the church, and he's like, "I know you, I know you, my niece. That you look just like Joe." Right? Yeah. And I was like, okay. And he ended up marrying a lady in the church, so Angie Sonigan.
Okay.
My uncle, Robert Ferguson.
Okay.
So they ended up getting married. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's like my favorite person in the church, one of them. Right. And then they got married to a blood uncle, and he's the one who kind of brought me into the family. But by that time, though, I had some resentment built up. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really interested in the conversation. He's inviting me to the family reunions and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
I'm good.
Because they had all these great stories about my dad to this day. Oh, he got records on the Kankakee wall. And I'm like, didn't do nothing for me. Yeah. And I'm left with all these questions.
So you didn't know his family at all.
Mm-mm.
How about my dad was not in our life, but we spent probably every other weekend at his mother's house.
Really?
Crazy, from the time we were little.
Like that.
Crazy how
from the time we were
connected to his mom, because she started coming to our church later on. She started coming to Christ Temple later on. By the time we got a relationship, she was stage 4 lung cancer. So then I lost her. And that was after she came to the host, because she had been hearing that he had more kids. But she like, at this point, are you sure you're the child, So we was navigating through that. So I lost all of that early on. So then I still had this resentment, hatred, confusion. But then you don't want to hate the guy because you hear so many great stories.
Yeah.
But then you over here
everybody love your dad.
Yeah.
That shit crazy how it work, ain't it?
What in the world?
Mitch so cool.
I don't know him.
Who the fuck is that nigga?
And I'm like, he wasn't there. He didn't even. And then it would be times where he would see me, like we'd be at the rec center because he was a coach. Mm-hmm. And he didn't even acknowledge
Wouldn't even say nothing, bro.
And I was like, who does that? Who does that to a child?
Speak to all the other kids out there.
So now, that's where the rejection comes from.
Bruh, man, my pops was so cool. Would kick it with everybody. Yeah. Everybody, bro.
Dad was my coach.
That nigga would walk past me like he ain't see me, bro. When he see me,
I don't know that side of him.
Look just like Buddy. Like she said, look just like him. Laugh like him, all that.
I ain't never. You know how you be like, you laugh like your daddy, you walk like your. That's the identical.
Crazy.
Wow.
I did. So look, I told the story multiple times on the show. So this is how I met his pops. I'm at the store. All of a sudden, I hear that laugh. Right? Y'all know Mitch laugh. Mm-hmm. I hear that laugh. What in the world? Walked a 2-hour over. Look at that. You Mitch father. He hit the laugh again.
Crazy.
I come to him. It was like later that day. come over the house. Yo, I met your pops. What you mean you met my pops? He did the laugh. All he could do was laugh.
Crazy.
He did the laugh.
Bro, just imagine hearing that laugh everywhere, and that nigga ain't talking to you, bro.
I couldn't imagine that.
You the only one
Pops
he ain't talking
to. Regularly when I was really little, but he was still there. Right. I could never.
So it's different, bro. It's different for everybody, man.
It is.
Yeah, I couldn't relate to that.
Yeah.
But now I got a relationship with my father's side. I go to the reunions.
That's love.
My oldest son looks just like my father. And so they like,
y'all look alike.
Oh,
buddy looks just like you, bro. That's crazy. He just a little light skinned.
He is.
But he looks just like you, man.
Oh my God, that's Joe Anderson right there. Yeah, that's Joe. And I'll be like,
he athletic, ain't he? Mm-hmm. Crazy how that shit
all
works.
that stuff.
They don't lie.
But now I'm like connecting that side, and I'm thankful for it because I'm like, oh, that's what. Because I didn't look like my mom and Zori.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look like the Browns. I wasn't all the way as dark as them. Yeah. They have strong genes. Mm-hmm. And I was just this eyeball out.
Zori, so when Zori was just alike. They look just alike.
They literally could use the ID picture, especially when she cut her hair out. Boy, they was past the IDs. That's how much they looked alike. And I'm just over here like, I don't fit in nowhere. So that's spent a lot of time with, like we were talking about earlier, like my insecurities and stuff, because you don't fit in. Yeah. So if my brother was teasing me and said I was adopted, I really did believe him, because clearly I don't fit in.
But that's how I always felt about, I never wanted my kids to have different last names, because even though my two younger sisters, they are Rosenthals, I was the only one with his last name. The rest of them are Thompsons.
You a Rosenthal?
Yes.
You can't tell?
No.
Look, it hit me
like, wait a minute.
Right, though.
I was the only one. My mom did not give the other two his last name. So imagine me growing up Thompson. I'm the only Rosenthal. And I guess that's why I'm like, I just want to get married to change my last name. Even now, like I always knew like my relatives and stuff like that, but we didn't like grow up around each other, so it was kind of confusing. Like growing up, even like getting older and then having the last name. Oh, you're related to so and so and so and so, and you'd be like,
sure I am.
Exactly. Like
right.
So it's just like
you don't even know
exactly. So it was just horrible. I hated it. I absolutely. Oh my God, I hated it.
See, I believe in giving all my kids their father's last names to keep that bloodline going. But we can't even say one name household. We like, well, you this. Brandon's like, this is ghetto. I'm gonna need you to know that this is ghetto. I'm like, but you gotta keep your bloodline going. So.
I mean, I'm a strong believer in that to a certain extent, but the situation with my youngest daughter's father, like I gave her my last name because at the time it was just like, well, I don't know if he even gonna be a part of your life, so I'm not even gonna give you this name and have you wondering and asking.
Would you change it if he came?
If he came to me, I would.
Really?
Yeah, I would change it
for sure.
Yeah, my twins' father, I gave them. I was like, I should have gave you.
You're not bashing baby daddies. I feel like that's where it's going.
But that's how I felt at the time.
Right.
I'm like, you gonna do this, and I'm the coolest one. But I'm glad that they did keep that name, and it is what it is. And now I just gotta pray. Yeah. I still keep him in my prayers, and it's hard to pray for somebody you don't care for. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to tell you. What we were talking about before. It's hard to be cool with somebody that they ain't got your best interest. Fuck you and them kids. Bitch.
Half of us at the all-in show do not condone. Half of us.
Damn.
Yeah.
So harsh.
She tough.
Yeah, man.
Yes, Lord.
Man, y'all should hear him off camera. But
I'm imagining that it would be the same as on camera.
No, he hold back some of them words.
Same thing. Right.
You don't think so? Right now he ain't cleaned it up for the camera.
It's me, my boy. It's
me. So y'all said how it went from parent to y'all to child. What is the one thing you want to leave your children with? What's the one lesson for sure? I don't care if you do it individually. I don't care if it's as a whole. What's the one thing, if your child was to be able to come back and see this is what you want to make sure when your time is gone and you're no longer with us, and this is one piece they could come back and grab of you. What's the one lesson you really wanted to make sure they learn?
Stay together.
Hello?
Say it again.
Stay together.
As a family.
As a family.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that, but I also, Sanaja, Vince, McKinley, Aurora, Rosenthal.
That's what I'm talking about.
Do what makes you happy. Don't think about what other people got to say. Ignore the outside noise. Do what makes you happy. You're going to spend a lot of time in life trying to be what other people expect you to be. Be what you want to be. That's all. That I will not turn over in my grave. But you know, Sanaja Benson, that I do not want to be buried. We done already had this conversation. You already know. You better not bury me. Cremate me and I better be a tree.
Now, when they see you yesterday.
Yesterday last.
Yeah.
I told my kids,
next last.
I better be in a charm around their neck.
I want to be a tree.
Do not bury me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a new thing now. They don't want to be buried. They want to be cremated. I always want to be cremated.
I don't want to waste that money.
Yeah. I've never liked graveyards. I used to turn my head at them when I was little. But now you can be a tree. And I feel that's that circle of life. And I'm going to live for
extra
okay.
ass,
I want to be a
Leo
tree.
ass.
Yes! Yes!
I want them to keep me in that house. You better find me somewhere. I want to be connected to y'all. Y'all can wear the necklaces, or somebody make sure y'all take care of me and dust me off in that cremation box. But
oh god,
but you interesting fact, the body never gets to a temperature where it fully burns, so there'll be bone fragments and stuff. And don't ask me how I know this, but yes,
that's the Shapiro lesson.
Oh god.
The more
so
you
you're
know.
not having kids?
That's not. Yeah, that's the plan.
Go ask.
That's not the.
Yeah, y'all have get them.
Yeah, y'all more than what questions y'all want. I would prefer not to have any children.
Why?
It's a lot of combinations of a lot of things.
What's
you
your
know,
top 3
when
reasons?
I can't give you a top 3. When you've been alive for 37 years, you just watch it snowball and the many things. You know what I'm saying? So I have never really wanted children of my own. So, you know, most boys growing up, they ain't thinking about. But that continued for me. So as my friends was like, I can have. I mean, I would play the game like, yeah, if I had a child, I'd name it this. But then you'd be like, well, how many kids you want, huh? You know what I'm saying? I'm 19. Everybody like, well, you? Nah, I'm not looking to make them. I can practice all we want, but I ain't looking to make them. You know what I'm saying?
So you've never had any scares?
I mean, we've all had scares, but they few and far in between. I don't.
Yeah, he ain't got no kids, so they
must
have been.
And then the older I get, and then I look at, you know, you hear stories of people, the mother, the father, the child support. That's why it's so funny to me. Bruh. You laughing, but on the male side, if you watched our shows, like men really get the same way you get irate about orders is the same way they get about child support.
My only thing with child support, like I'm not a fan of it. I'm not in support of it. I get why it's necessary. Women don't come after me. I do not. I feel like it's set up for a man to fail.
Hell yeah.
Because if you don't pay,
you in jail.
You in jail.
You in
or
jail.
You get your license taken. If they take all of that, how are they going?
How am I going to pay you if I'm in jail?
Exactly. So my thing is, I'm not, you as a grown man, I'm not going to make you be a man or be a father to my child. Like, I need you, like, you know, every month, if you buy you some shoes, you know, I'm buying your child some shoes, something. Like, contribute what you can. I mean, God has blessed me to be in a position to be able to do it. So I know women who aren't, and they do get it. But I'm a hustling woman. My mindset is, bam, if I ain't gonna get it, I'm gonna go. If I don't have it, I'm gonna go out and get it.
Okay.
But I get why it's necessary, but I don't agree with it. That's exactly why I've never put any of mine on child support.
Okay.
Fuck that shit.
It's a really big deal.
It is. Bro. You see the conversations back and forth, and you just be like,
shit, bro. That shit crazy.
Like, dang.
My homies like to send me pictures of it coming off their checks to remind me how much y'all want it.
Man, look.
You don't want this life.
I always tell y'all, I hope you have a little heart will, but if you don't, I don't blame.
And
that shit's up, bro.
So, I'm different. I've always been different. You know me. I'm just different. It's hard to find someone who thinks like me, who be able to instill the values like me, who I can trust if, okay, this don't work out, we can still be cool and I can raise a child, because that's important to me. We don't have to be together, but I got to be able to know we could be homies so that my child sees how a relationship, regardless if it's together or not, works. You know, you meet a girl and then as soon as she starts, you like, ooh, I don't know. Like, you dope for me, but you ain't dope for little me. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real.
I grew up in broken homes with both my parents, love them to death. Both my parents made horrible decisions for relationships. Be it if it was their mistake, the other person's mistake, or how it goes. They learned a lot of life lessons. And I look at it and I go, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. I watch my friends get in these serious relationships and make babids. I don't want that, I don't want that,
I don't want that.
I mean, you know,
I'm
you go somewhere you want it,
right?
I don't want that, I don't. And so it's a whole combination of, you know, I had a rough childhood. I don't want to pass that on to a child. I know my parents love me to death. They did the best that they can. And at 37, I understand a lot. But I ain't understand it from like birth to 29. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Why are you like this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just a combination of things that have just snowballed. And it's not something that I'm not missing out on something I don't want. You know what I'm saying? I have 10 nieces, nephews, godchildren. Love them to death. Talk to them regularly. Talk to them on the phone. Stranger Things, season 4. Stranger Things is cool. I watch it. But I'm not, fanatic. Uncle Ryan, you gotta watch it. No, you gotta watch it. So I binge watch it for the babies. Like, I have a connection with children, and that works for me. So I don't need more. You know? Anything else? No, that's it.
I got a question. We're gonna dig back.
Go ahead.
Why did you friend zone me?
Ooh.
On camera, nigga. On camera.
I can't cut the show.
No.
Bring it.
I might need to take a shot.
Hey, look. You ever have a question? You ever have a question that caught you off guard that you don't remember? Like, wait.
No.
Wait, I swear.
No.
You know me.
Stop talking.
I ain't honest.
Because you trying to avoid it. Stop
I'm
talking.
not trying to avoid it.
Stop talking.
Wait.
Answer the question.
Answer
I
it.
was just playing.
No.
I was finna say, hey,
I'm
look,
for real.
I'm naive and young, and a lot of times things fly over my head.
Tell us, because he ain't gonna tell us.
I used to like Ryan back when I hang with his sister
Why?
Romisa.
Why you like
his
Ryan?
stuff.
I was the oldest.
But let me tell you,
I was a fun big brother. That's why.
Let me tell you what he made it very clear. This is how I know that he's been an honest person his whole life. He did something. And I was like, he is like a real big brother. Like,
yeah,
he's like a real big brother. And he saw me as, that's my little sister's friend.
Yeah, so you little sister. Yeah.
So now you little sister.
Yeah.
So he never looked at me that way. And I'm like,
that's what makes some friend.
Right? I used to love going over Romesa's house to see Big Brother Ryan.
Yeah.
And he treated me like that. So I'm just giving him a hard time.
So look. April, am I not like that though? Like, think about it. In our friendship, I don't treat you like a sister. Complete that. Bro,
such a jerk.
That's just so. I'm the oldest of my mother's children. That's who I am. Are you into that? Come on. It's just.
Man, I was like, this little boy. But that's I had to put it on there.
I love it.
Nah, it wasn't.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah. Promo.
Like, I
want to cut it, but I got one more to go.
Promo.
That was good. I never knew that. It's crazy how it just. You be like, what? You looking back? No wonder they was always trying to get me to play and kick it.
Okay.
I thought it was because I was fun. So we always give out shout outs on this show. So it could be in general, it could be to a person, it could be multiple people. We all about love. It could be your children, your parents. It could be yourself.
Somebody.
And we still not rock, paper, scissors.
I go last today. You were last yesterday.
No, that was last week yesterday.
Yesterday, last week.
Mm-hmm.
What is y'all gonna put over there? It's gonna be beep every time, boy. Just observe it.
Next month, 3 weeks ago. So, you ladies want to go ahead? You want me to go give you a second to think?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to shout out my sister Romisa. We had a trouble.
I love it.
When you said it was already on my mind.
Yeah.
She and I have had a very troubled relationship most of our life. If you know my sister, you know she can be very difficult. And we both know that I'm very, very stuck on how it's supposed to be. So we butt heads a lot. But We were on a 6-year hiatus of communication.
I love it, bro.
And we just broke it. I finally said it's time to let go of some
kids. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I want to shout out to my sister Ramisa. Love you.
Yeah.
It's your turn. They still
my turn?
Yeah.
Let me see. Shout out. Let me see who I'm gonna shout out to.
And you can
shout out to Shapiro, bro, because they had me in a good situation
when
I was here.
You know
what I'm saying? I met great people.
That's where Batman at.
Great folks at Shapiro.
You didn't know we had Shapiro.
No, I knew it before Shapiro.
Great Shapiro.
Talking because
even though I ain't there now, it was a great time for me. I definitely learned a lot. Grew up there.
That should let me back right on.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Shapiro.
Come on, man.
I guess I go. I want to shout out my children, Sanaa and McKinley. Those are my babies. They push me every day to be better and greater, and I am who I am because of them. I like to shout out my sisters. Well, all my Gail's kids. Let me say that. I want to Gail's kids. Tanisha, Kiara, Ashley. Love y'all. I shout out everybody. Just moving and doing good, and I love positive energy and positive vibes. That's what shout out keeping at us.
I don't have no shout. You gotta shout out somebody. Be yourself.
Anybody.
Shout out yourself and give your business a plug. Something.
I did that in the beginning.
You Lord have mercy. Because we editing that out.
Shout out somebody.
You gotta shout out something. You can shout out God.
I do. I shout out God.
There you go.
G-O-D.
That's enough.
You know me.
And I shout out for those who may be questioning. It don't have to be about religion. It don't. I just encourage you to build a rapport with I choose God. You know.
For sure.
But get your questions answered. We was taught don't question God, but He really do want that communication, and I believe a lot of that stuff that you
for sure
need the answers in Him. So shout out to God. Thank you for always making a way out of no way for me, providing for me and mine. I'm pretty sure I'm one of your top favorites. So if you want to be connected to God, connect to Bree. Up-Next Credit Services.
There you go.
South Indiana, Sweet 102.
So up next, nigga.
All right.
I'm gonna shout out my circle. Y'all all know who y'all are.
Okay, circle.
They do.
I don't know your circles. You know, I just want to hear one name. But keep going.
You know, I don't fuck with two of them. Fuck two of your circles. They know who they is. They gonna watch.
Is there one I like?
Nosy bitches. They gonna
There's
watch it.
Listen,
fuck
this
is
that's my girl.
You can't bash baby daddies. You can't bash.
Exactly. First of all, we done went this whole show, even though the whole world know our connection.
You right.
We done went this whole show.
Y'all got a
told off
connection?
on some shit, huh?
Damn.
What? I never watched this show. Y'all got a connection? What?
I didn't know the connection.
Who your
This
shout
is
out?
my ex-husband. World, they know that.
They know
Jesus.
That. Fuck your two friends. They know who they is.
You are married?
Bitches. Fuck both of them.
Oh.
But on a lighter note, it's 11:57, and that means Leo season getting ready to get started. I'm just like,
Very much.
That's
what y'all did. I didn't do it, so I had to take it all away. That's my job.
Yeah.
You were married?
Whole show was cool.